Bright Lights has been out for a couple weeks now, man, and I wanted to make a review on what I thought of the set and just do a deep dive and analysis of all the components and inner workings of the set overall and tell you what I think. Now, high level view, summary. I think it was designed very well. I think that for the market and the target audience that they wanted to make this product for, they did a great job. It feels like they looked at a bunch of comments on Twitter about why people had excuses to not play Flesh and Blood, and they got the top 10 and they just mowed through that list and made a product geared towards onboarding new players. And I'll get into that in a bit. So onboarding was the main focus of this product. And again, like I said in my preview video, it's like Kikkoman, the soy sauce company. They made teriyaki sauce. They changed their product to match their customer, Americans. And I think that LSS did a very similar thing with Bright Lights. They altered their product and their design of said product to match their intended audience or intended consumer in order to make them want the product instead of changing their customer to match their product. I'm going to hammer that home because I think that's the true intention of this product. And overall, I think that it set out what it was intended to do. If you think about all the stuff that, a new person onboarding would want, right? And as such, I think that this product versus a lot of other products of Flesh and Blood has a very clear definition of what success is, which is getting players to be, or getting new people into the game of Flesh and Blood and to becoming full-fledged players. And what does that mean? Well, in my opinion, I think that it takes around 3 to 5 months for a new person getting into Flesh and Blood to become a full-fledged player, meaning they buy a lot of the staples and they have like a couple different decks. They're playing often in armories and stuff like that. I think the true metric for how successful Bright Lights is going to be in December, January, and probably February timeframe. If we see a spike in prices in the market, right, in the secondary market for, single cards or even booster boxes of Bright Lights, I think you can label Bright Lights a success overall. I think that's going to be the true determinant in if they did a good job at moving like brand new people to becoming actual players in the game, meaning like you see Command and Conquer, a big staple of the game, getting a lot of sales in December and January. The Art of Wars, the Enlightened Strikes. All the main contenders, all the single cards. And if we start seeing price spikes, even the collector cards, because I know this is very, weird to say, but players are collectors too. They like to collect shiny stuff. I know that's crazy to say. But long story short, Bright Lights has a very specific success metric in my mind. Did it make new players and gather new players and onboard people into the game? And the main way we'll see this is in December through January, mainly, right? If there are price spikes in the secondary market for single cards that are staples, because then we'll see, like, okay, people got into the game, before, 3 months ago. They took some time, played a couple games with friends, life happens along the way, and they, did more research, and they finally bought in and they started playing. Now, I do want to mention a couple of different things that are in the background in the economy and the world scope as well, different factors that will affect this. An individual commented on a video of mine recently and said a lot of stuff with the just stock market and the crypto world and everything. I think that does have a big effect, and I think that there is a lot of fear and a lot less money in people's wallets in the end of 2023 than there was in 2022. So I think that's a major factor, and that's something to consider as well if we don't see as much of an uptick. Especially with the Rudy bundle sale for Bright Lights, it took the longest out of any sale that I've ever seen. It was nuts to me. So that's a big thing, and just other economical factors. I think it's important to put out there, but I'm looking forward to seeing a spike. And also, Round the Table is also, another product that came out the same time as Bright Lights. In my opinion, I feel like Round the Table was part of the same Bright Lights initiative bundle. I'll put them both in the same category of these products were put out at a similar time trying to onboard people, right? And I kind of bundle that together, but we don't know how much new players are coming in for Round the Table versus if they really like just Bright Lights. So that's something also to consider. Now, I want to go into more of different takes that I have of the whole set overall. One of the biggest things that I've heard people talking about is the Marvels, and I thought about it too when I first pulled one, right? So I pulled the Evo Facebreaker, cool looking card, and I noticed that it was a Marvel rarity on the bottom. I was, whoa, I got a Marvel, but then wait, it's not like full art. It's just mainly a cold foil card, and at first I didn't really understand it. I thought, well, wait, why isn't this full art? And I had that opinion for a little bit. But recently I thought more about the treatment where normally, right, Marvels have full artwork like Teklovas, and he like the whole card is, artwork versus, all this other stuff. But when I thought about it, I thought about a video I made a while back, and I was talking about, I believe, Uprising with the dragons. And I didn't like when you pulled a Marvel dragon and it was $25 because literally you'd be like, I'd open up a pack, right? And I'd be shuffling through and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's only $25. Because I thought, okay, I pulled the $300, the $200 card. Whoa, this is a big deal. But then got a little gypped and was like, oh wait, it's only the $25, rare version. Oh, okay, crap. So personally, I understand why this is the treatment versus the full art Marvel version. It took me a little bit to grasp that. Now, something I don't really know quite sure of is why it was still like the Marvel symbol. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know why it couldn't have been a Majestic symbol, but maybe these aren't. I don't know. But I like this in this format versus the Marvel for that very reason. I wouldn't want to pull this, think I got like a really big $150 card and just really rare card, and then find out online it's only worth $25 or $30. I think LSS knew that ahead of time and as such adjusted by, not making it the full fancy pantsy version, which I appreciate. Should this symbol change in some way, shape, or form to do a different rarity of Marvel? Possibly, but I'm not going to nitpick on that. Personally, with the whole issue of, hey, Marvels look different in this set, I'm on board. I'd rather have it look like this when it's a $30 card than look some like crazy version of Marvel. Because when you pull a Marvel, dude, it is such a cool adrenaline rush feeling. You look at the card and you think, whoa, this looks so much different than any other Flesh and Blood card. This is special. And when you go on TCG Player and you see it for like $22, it's like, ugh. It kind of ruins the spirit of Marvel. So I think Bronson's opinion, the Marvel treatment, I like. I see what they were doing there. So good job. I like that. The next topic I want to talk about is the Spring Tunic. Now, the Spring Tunic was one of my biggest concerns before Bright Lights release because we didn't really know what it looked like or anything like that. And people were wondering, is it going to be rainbow foil? Is it going to be another art? Or what's it going to happen? It was reprinted just in the card. And I think I pulled a Tunic. Let's see if I can find it. So, yeah, here we go. So it looks like just the Crucible War non-foil black bordered card. So as I've discussed in another video, typically there's different iterations of flashiness of cards, what do you say? And this Tunic, right, was previously done in white border. Now it's done in black border. To be honest, as a collector and a person who analyzes this game, I'm really good with this. I'm really happy that it's not rainbow foil. It's a non-foil, basic-ass card, so you can play the game. I'm good with this. I think this is a good idea. And I know that people are like, hey, why do you have to reprint it? I mean, I think I'll go into it in a bit, but I think it's just off the basis of you give people less to complain about. Because if new people got into the game and they're like, oh, well, I can't have a Tunic, it's like, well, this set has a Tunic. There you go. That's not an excuse. I see that point. Also, for the expected value of the box, if Tunic was not in Bright Lights, I can't imagine what the EV would have been, or like the amount of money in the boxes if you didn't have as many Tunics. So overall, as a collector, and as collectors out there, you have to think, does this really affect anything that you own? No, not at all. And honestly, somebody on the Salty Whale Discord that I'm not sure who you are. I wish I did, because I'd love to give credit where credit is due. This is not from me. But they did the maths of all the Tunics that existed out there in the world and compared it to the amount of players. It was like, hey, there's not enough Tunics to go around. And I thought it was a very compelling point of view, and I agree. I don't think there were enough Tunics out there for where this game is going in the next couple of years. So reprinting this, I'm good with. And like, even though it's not a white border, I don't care. As long as it's non-foil and it's a card, I'm all good with this. Before Bright Lights was released, I really wish I knew it was like this, because I would have said so in my preview videos. Like, I was just worried that they were going to put it in, like, rainbow foil, or do some cold foil extended art so it looks different, or something. But having a non-foil player card, Bronsons is great with this. I like that. I don't know what to say. I think it's a good idea. But anyway, do I know like where the secondary market's gonna just bottom out and everything like that? I'll let LSS figure that shit out. But as a person of flesh and blood, and what the product was intended to do, I think this was a smart play. Let's go through other stuff now, shall we? Let's go on to really the design of this product and just all the things that it really was intended to really do for new players. Because I said, okay, they designed this product towards new players, but what does that mean? And the biggest thing, the biggest example I think it is it's like they literally, LSS, went on Twitter and looked at all the reasons why people weren't wanting to play Flesh and Blood and just compiled a list of 10 things and just went through them. Okay, we're going to solve all these things in this product, so there's no excuses not to play Flesh and Blood. I think Bright Lights, it is for new players, but you could also look at the converse of it as there is no excuses not to pick up this box. And let me go through them. Now, the first is, like I hinted earlier, the Tunic. You can't say on Twitter or any other social media, oh, I can't play the game, I don't have a Tunic. Buy Bright Lights. Get your Tunic. It's in the box. It just was reprinted. So there you go. Another one is low box price and readily available. So this was not a short printed product whatsoever. It seems to be widely available through many different avenues online and in store. So having boxes available everywhere has definitely been given out there in the community. So people can't say, oh, I can't find boxes. There aren't any. Like, nope. Their boxes are everywhere. You can find them. And they're reasonably priced. Like, they're not really expensive overall because there's a good amount of quantity out there in the market. So that's something to note. Another thing is the professor made the, round the table, the product, right? Oh, I like Commander. I like these, formats where you play with 4 people. Well, Flesh and Blood has that. And not only that, but we have the biggest Magic the Gathering content creator who partnered with LSS creating that product, and then that product is sent out to the wild, and you can buy it and you can just play with your play group. Just buy a box for $65, play the game. It made it so simple for anyone who likes a Commander format. But then let's say you're like, oh, I don't like Commander. I like playing sealed. Well, we have Crack Shuffle Play. You can literally buy 3 packs or 2 or 3, I don't know how many packs, and you can just play the game. Like, you crack the packs, you shuffle them together, and play the game. It's just another thing that they implemented in this product where people can't like complain. It's like, hey, here you go. It's super simple. You can do it. And also to that standpoint is you just have one class where you don't have to learn all these different classes, and it's very easy for a new player to understand. It's just, okay, one class. It's the mech. Here you go. Cards do different things, of course, but it's just one class. So I know I've listed a bunch of stuff, but I wanted to detail that out just to explain to you my perception that this product was meant for onboarding new players, and the converse of onboarding new players, right? If you explain it in a different way, it's they gave no excuses to people who said, I can't play Flesh and Blood because of X. They literally solved all those things in this product. And I think that going forward, this is a really great product for LSS to just point to and say, look, we did it. You want a new player product? Are you a new player? Get Bright Lights. It's the one for you, right? And it's a good play. I know I'm getting a little jazzed here, but I've had to hear all these different comments on social media and different platforms of different reasons you couldn't play Flesh and Blood. And Flesh and Blood is a really damn good game, and it really frustrated me hearing said things because I'm like, it's pretty cost effective compared to other games, and it's a really great gaming experience. So just alleviating all of those just bullshit reasons for not playing the game, creating a product that allows people just instantly, as seamlessly as possible, to play the game, I think is just it's chef's kiss. It's really good. And it's more of there's this saying in the MMO, or maybe not MMO, but video gaming industry, of quality of life, right? Quality. And I feel like that's what they really included in this, is just quality of life, ease of use, easy to play, like reducing all the barriers. Because if you think of people and you think of Flesh and Blood, really all you have in between are barriers. And those barriers are reasons to not play or reasons to not get into playing. And LSS, I think, in this product removed as much of these barriers as possible and created bridges so that new people could play Flesh and Blood and not only play the game, but then get acclimated to how it's played and become a legit player. So, in turn, like I said in the beginning of the video, and I've said for a bit, I don't think a lot of content creators are saying this, but I'm looking for an uptick in singles prices in the secondary market of Flesh and Blood in December-January range. So in conclusion, for just how Bright Lights was designed, I think it did very good. Now, I want to go on to a little bit at the end of this video, a little bit of rants on the state of sales and how the product is performing with stores. From what I've seen, it's not looking good. The expected value in the box and the single prices of the cards have really tanked pretty fast, and there's not as much money out there for people who are cracking boxes. I cracked a full case and 3 boxes, and I really thought, what am I doing here? Because promptly afterwards, I actually bought the Marvels, these right here. Let me show you. These. I bought the rest of the set for like $400. I'm like, why did I buy a case when I could have just bought the singles that I wanted? And I like literally, this is, I don't know, what is this? 1 in every 4 boxes, 1 in every 6 boxes, and all the other ones are like that. But instead, you could just buy the ones you need for the cheap price. And part of that is like the stores out there try to do like this race to the bottom. They know that there's a lot amount of profits in the first 2 to 3 weeks. So they just sell. And maybe out there in the market currently, and just me thinking, maybe there's too many single sellers of Flesh and Blood. Maybe some have to get burnt and drop off, and less single sellers are out there to flood the market in the beginning. I'm not sure, and I know that's mean to say, but you wonder, is it too much of one thing? It's like an ecosystem in the animal kingdom, If there's too many lions who are out there eating all the gazelles. Like, some lions have to die. It's just how it is. But that's one take. Another take is the economy overall and in the world, and all the fear and everything is having an impact. There's, I feel kind of stupid sometimes. I'm making a channel and about a hobby in a game, and I say all these like hot takes and all these things, and then I think, oh well, look at all this shitty stuff happening in the world. But I guess you can't brood on that. But ultimately, you have to realize that there's also way more important things happening. And I think that's really my point here. Is there's a lot of other things out there in the world that are happening that siphon money and siphon like people's viewpoints out of Flesh and Blood and their eyeballs. So I think you have that going on right now, which is also affecting the single prices. As well as people in the Flesh and Blood community who play a bunch of different classes. Like, I play Guardian mainly, and I didn't see many Guardian cards. Like, I think there's one Guardian card, and I was like, meh, But if none of the cards really appeal to you, there's really not much to go on. And if you look at the last couple of sets, there's usually been a hot Majestic for like $30 or $50 a card. And that's really helped the single sellers out there to just get even just break even on the product overall. And even if they break even, dude, like, imagine how much labor it is to go through all that selling and shipping and hassle just to break even. So that's just something to note, is that was happening at this current period of time. Just to summarize, single sellers and sellers overall, and just even people who are opening boxes like me, selling cards in the market, it just felt like the value of cards you got, even if you hit some really good stuff, you really couldn't recoup that much. I got I think 5 legendaries or something, which is really good out of 7 boxes. Again, I got a Marvel, I got a Tunic. And even still, I think I'm down like $200, $300 just selling all the cards, or most of the cards back, which is like, ugh. It's like, I feel like you want it to be where if you hit good stuff, you can make a little bit. If you don't hit good stuff, you lose a little bit, right? Or lose, half or whatever. It's gambling. You know what gambling is. We need that. And of course, if you pull that Teklevasen, like, I think it's like a $500 card, then you can, hit the thing. But there needs to be a good gambling type of reward system, if I'm explaining that right. I think that if like 25% of the boxes had positive EV, or not EV, but positive value versus cost, like you make 120 versus the 80 you spent, that's a good thing. 25% of the boxes. But then the other 25%, maybe you make $50 of value, but you spent 80, so you lost 30. It's kind of that equation here, right? I think that's all that needs to be said there, but it's a very important point, is that at this current period of time, the EV of the boxes is pretty low. And I hope in the next couple sets we see more just banger type cards in the boxes that elevate the EV. And I think that it's important for us to really realize, when you have Surgical Extraction, a Majestic card for Assassin, and one for like $50 for a while, and when you have like Warmonger's Diplomacy, I know as a player it sucks. It sucks paying those fees, paying the troll toll. But overall, it's that troll toll that pays and helps the LGSs and helps the stores out there who are selling the cards. I think that's a very important concept. When you don't have those types of cards, yes, the players aren't going to complain, but the stores are going to hurt. So that's all I really wanted to say on that topic. And overall, there's way too many things at play, like I was saying, to really understand what truly is the driver for the price decrease on the singles. But yeah, it is what it is. I like it. I'm buying the cards I need because I want to collect bright lights. So I'm collecting all the Marvels now, and then I'll put together the full set soon. So I'm really enjoying that. But anyway, that's my overall views on bright lights up to this point. I really look forward to playing more Crack Shuffle play. I hadn't gotten a chance to go into my local store, the Haven Games, Link down below for their website where you can get 10% off singles. Plug in that at the end. But I didn't get a chance to go. I wish I could have. I just had a lot of work and stuff to do in my personal life. But I'm really looking forward to playing that because it looks cool. Where you just like then the drafting looks really nice too. Where you don't have to have any cracked baubles. Like you have so many cards to choose from. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Oh, one other thing. Some adult heroes, or no, all the adult heroes in Bright Lights were Marvels. I like it. It's good. Cards should have some value. And you don't need it like in other sets of Flesh and Blood. You don't need like 5 trillion adult heroes worth a penny each. I think if they're printing things on paper or on cardstock, they should intend it to have some sort of value. So do I like that the adult heroes are like $2, $3, $4? Yeah, it's a one-time cost. It adds a little bit more money into the box. I'm okay with that. Now, as long as you don't buy a hero for like, I don't know, like $18 for like a non-foil booster box thing. And it's like, maybe it's getting a little high. But, $2 to $4, man, it's a one-time cost. No big deal. I like that they're putting more equity into just the heroes. And if they're going for that much, I mean, maybe there's some demand for these new, classes or the heroes in Bright Lights. And something to really leave off on is, just to ramble a little bit more at the end. Go down sentimentality lane. When I first got into Flesh and Blood, I really liked Bravo. I thought he was cool. He was one of the first heroes that I was really looking into and got acclimated to. And from then to now, I really love Bravo, right? It resonated with me. And it makes me wonder if Bright Lights is a massive success. We do see those upticks in December and January. Are more players who onboard at the time going to have more propinquity, I'm using fancy words today, to mechanologists, and they really like mech stuff? And do mech singles have really good potential because more people started the game and liked mech class because it was their first type of class to go on? That's something to consider. And will that affect the EV overall of Bright Lights? And will Bright Lights perform a lot better in 6 months once people have fully onboarded into the game? I mean, those are a lot of ifs, and I personally am not hedging my buying for that. I'm done with Bright Lights for now, but just makes you wonder. So cheers, man. Have a good one. Let me know what you think. Really like different perspectives on what you thought of Bright Lights.